into the grassroots segment, and you know what? We always start off the grassroots segment with a couple of shout outs. Big shout out to the Southern Amateur League, www.southernamateurleague.co.uk, at Glemnet SAL on Twitter, and the SAL 1907, facebook.com/the SAL 1907. And a big shout out to the AFA, the Amateur FA, at Amateur FA on Twitter, and www.amateur-fa.com. And a big shout out to Mr. Andy Copeland, who is a SAL and AFA representative, who sat down with us recently for a Pitch Talk meet. So Pitch Talk meets Andrew Copeland is on youtube.com/Pitch Talk. Check that out. And also check out Pitch Talk meets Rob Lusher. Full-time Ibis FC legend, Mr. Rob Lusher. I've got a bit more about him actually in a second. But we start off with Ibis Football Club, IBIS Football Club at gmail.com. Facebook.com/ibis.fc, that's IBIS.FC, and at ibis_football on Twitter, or twitter.com/ibis_football. And you know what? It's one of them. Gotta say, as said, a huge shout out to Tristan Popel, the chairman of the club, Boney, Stephen Bone, our treasurer. Big shout outs to Ollie Roberts, the Freeze captain, Ollie Wooden, the Twos captain, and the interim ones captain, Mr. Ben Pierre, as well. It's one of them ones. Big shouts, guys. Big shouts to some of the senior members of the team, such as Nick Blogg, aka Bloggy, and Alex Minchell, aka Minch. What is up? You know what, yeah? Want to also give a big shout out on Twitter to Mr. John Josiah, a former player, an actual former player for the Ibis. It's actually really good stuff, because he's actually posted a couple of very interesting tweets that we've retweeted from the Ibis 75th anniversary dinner. I remember it's our centenary year this year, 2013, and this is our centenary season. So very interesting stuff. He was actually, oh my word, part of it. He actually found a late 70s Ibis FC shirt. So it's one of them ones, man. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. So, but you know what? It's been a great weekend for the mighty Ibis. Yes, brilliant weekend, because we were struggling for availability this week, but it all ended up going tremendously well, because for the first time that I can remember since being a part of the club, and I've been around the club 5 years now, 4 wins. All 4 teams getting wins, and 3 of those were actually clean sheets. But the results for Saturday, 7th of October 2013, Old Lionians 1, Ibis 1s 2. Hassan and Farhad getting the goals. Broomfield Reserves versus our Ibis 2s. That ended 2-0 to the Ibis 2s. So 2 away games, 2 wins there. Tristan Popel and James Soy getting the goals for the 2s. The Ibis Freeze won 3-0 at home against Crouch End Vampires, and they Phil Stevens got 2 and Scott Fanning scored 1 as well. Oddly enough, with this game, actually, there was actually, I don't follow tennis, so I didn't know this, but apparently there was my economy thinks it's funny. Apparently there was actually a famous face around. I think it's Heather Watson, the British number 2 tennis player, or something like that. I think she's actually going out with one of our Freeze players. So she was at pitch side for the Freeze game. So it's just quite interesting. I actually didn't know that, I said, because I don't follow tennis, but Pete Snell knew that. He was like, wait, what? he knew. So it's one of them ones. But it's one of them ones. Mike Carnovan thinks the 4s let the side down by conceding the goal. No. Because I said that the Freeze won 3-0. So did we. So did we. Ibis 4s 3, West Wickham 6s 0. Emmanuel Manny Affle getting the first goal, Callum Mayfield getting the second, and Justin James getting the third. And that clean sheet, oh my God. I was happy when we scored the first. I was ecstatic when we scored the third. And I was overjoyed when we got the third. But you know what? It was one of them ones. It was fantastic to be part of that 3-0 in the league. First league win of the season, first 3 points of the season, and because the goal differences were identical, and I think West Wickham had played 2 games more than us, we jumped above them in the league. Coming up this week, we've got a match against South Bank Quarko, who are the team just above us, and they're 7 points clear of us. But obviously they've played more games. They're 7 points clear of us, so we can peg them back. So it's one of them ones, man. It's gonna be good next week. But I was saying to the lads before the match, mate, I'm expecting challenges to be meaty in nature. And it's one of them ones I did say to the guys pre-match, if you ain't up for the fight in this match, if you ain't up for a battle in this match, you're not going to be up for any other match this season. Because it was one of those 6 pointers. But our starting lineup was Gavin Henry in goal, myself straight shooting LJA, aka Liam Angel, at centre back alongside Rob Lusher, and it was an absolute godsend to have Rob Lusher at centre back. Carl Bolton couldn't make it this week, so that's why I was at centre back. But we had Rohan Patel, who was a friend of Christian Frixu's. We had Rohan Patel at left back and Christian Frixu at right back to start with. We had Barry Clark and Alex Larfon sitting in the middle at centre midfield. Callum Mayfield on the left and Pete Snell on the right. And Emmanuel Manny Affle was up top with Justin James, which left substitutes Gorav, who is one of Christian Frixu's mates as well. We actually brought 2 people down, which was unexpected. And Andrew Williams. Big shouts, Drew. But you know what? It was one of them ones. The G-Man has done the match report. And I actually just need to find it quickly. But the G-Man did the match report, and he started off with Ibis 3, West Wickham 0. Yeah. Last week's defeat is what set the tone for this match. Actually, if I'm being 100% correct, Ash Farrell set the tone for this match. Even though he wasn't playing this week, his invigorating speech about having to beat the then bottom team of the league, West Wickham, was a must. He uttered the words, "Guys, I promise I won't drink on Friday, but we have to beat these lot." Now, I'm not saying Ash has a drinking problem, but for him to promise such a thing this week clearly showed his intent for us to win the match. But as said, Ash Farrell actually wasn't playing, but a big shout out to him actually, because he texted me after the game and was like, what was the score? Same with Jordan Mills as well. And Carl Bolton too. But unusual for us recently, we started off well. Manny and Justin seemed to forge a good early partnership, linking up well. I believe it took only 3 to 4 minutes before we had a real good chance on goal, and it wasn't long after that that Manny began the scoring. He got put through on goal and scored. I think it might have been Justin who actually fed that ball through. But Manny he did actually, because Manny ended up 1-on-1 with only the keeper to beat, rounded the keeper and slotted it in. Very, very good finish. But it was from this moment that we really started to dominate the game. Rob Lusher and Liam were being very vocal at the back, keeping Christian and Rowan both in defensive shape, which helped shut out their nippy number 7 and a tricky, lanky number 10. Was he their number 10? Yeah, their number 10 was absolutely huge. He was wearing a headband as well. He was absolutely huge. But their number 7, the G-Man's right, he was pretty tricky. He was their number 10 was actually a West Ham fan. But I was having a good little run and enjoyed my battle with their number 7 actually, because he kept me on my toes. But once or twice I was forced to rush out and make some defensive clearances and saves, but the defence was so solid and this week made my life 100% easier. Midway through the first half, we grabbed the second, which came from a corner. West Wickham were all over the place when a ball was whipped in by Callum. It ricocheted a couple of times before it went in. From the position I couldn't see who got the final touch. A bunch of the Ibis boys seemed to be claiming it. Andrew came on as a sub a couple minutes prior to the goal, actually claimed it was a team goal. It wasn't until after the game I was told it was an own goal. Callum Mayfield claimed the goal. Andrew Williams was like, yeah! And I'm like, hey, how will you claim? But Callum Mayfield claimed it. And but moments later, Justin James got the third, and that completely deflated West Wickham. However, for us, it was a great boost. 3 goals before half-time was unheard of, unknown. But the second half, the second half was one of them ones. There were a few chances here and there, but I was adamant this week that, well, at half time, it was a case of the guys were up for it, they were working hard, everyone to a man put in a shift. So it was fantastic. I mean, we brought Gorav on as a second half substitute and got about 20-25 minutes. At one point, I actually had to do a bit of defensive reshuffling because Christian was carrying an injury. But I kept asking him that, how is it feeling? Because he said to me at halftime, I don't know if I lost the match, if I lost the 90 minutes. And in a preemptive measure, I thought about 20 minutes into the second half, all right, let me take him off, because Alex Lawthorne had limped off with a bit of an injury. So we ended up swapping Callum Mayfield in to as soon as I had made the swap, taking Christian off and bringing Gorav on. It was a case of I put Gorav at right midfield and switched Pete Snell to right back. I know he was enjoying right mid. But it was one of them was I switched Pete Snell to right back, put Gorav at right mid, and then basically switched Callum Mayfield into the middle to replace Alex Lawthorne to go alongside Barry Clark, and then put Andrew Williams at left mid, so in front of Rowan. But a few minutes later, Pete actually limped off, so it was one of them was because I'd taken Andrew Williams off earlier. It was one of them where a couple minutes later he was back on. So what I did with that is I ended up putting Andrew Williams at right back, alongside myself and Rob Lusher. I ended up putting him at right back, and because Pete Snell had to come off, I put Gorav at right mid. Just kept him there. And then Alex Lawthorne was able to come back on later in the match, so I brought him back on and put Callum back out at left mid for a bit. So it was one of them it was a bit of a mishmash, but thank God we had a couple subs this week. Hopefully it'll be a regular thing, and you know what? I said I haven't been able to stop smiling for that reason since Saturday. So I mean me rolling up with Andrew Williams and Sherelle Wedderburn, two great friends of mine. It's one of them was a lot of banter on Saturday night, so it was just so fun. It was just so fun with them two. But the fact is, it was a really, really good win, and the clean sheet was a brilliant bonus. Really, really brilliant bonus. Loved it. So one of them was, man, I got to say a thank you to everyone who played. Thank you to everybody who played. Gav, Rob Lusher, Rowan, Christian, Barry, Alex Lawthorne, Callum Mayfield, Pete Snell, Emmanuel Affle, Justin James, Andrew Williams, and also Gorav Christian mate as well. I say huge thank yous to them because it was a pleasure to play. Match was a pleasure to play. But you know what? I've got to send a big shout out to the G-Man who did the match report for the first half. And it was a case of, for me, just before we started the second half, it was like I was like, you know what? Complacency does not creep into our game this year. We keep working, we keep putting in them challenges, and we keep working hard. It's one of them ones. I wanted that clean sheet and I did not want any complacency. So I was pretty adamant about that at half time, but it was great stuff. It was very, very good stuff. But yeah, man. Very happy with it. But if you want to come and play and be part of those kind of experiences with the mighty Ibis, especially with the fours, captained by yours truly, Straight Shooting LJA, ibisfootballclub@gmail.com is where you need to email. facebook.com/ibis.fc. ibisfc.co.uk is the official website. And a big shout out to JT, aka John Timmins, who does the upkeep on the website, and also twitter.com/ibis_football @ibis_football on Twitter. Training is every Wednesday from 7:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. at the Battersea Park all-weather AstroTurf pitches just off Prince of Wales Drive, next to the Children's Adventure Playground. And match days are on Saturdays. I actually can't wait till the Ibis FC Christmas do this Saturday. This is going to be a lot of fun. What's up, boys? It's going to be good. Be good. But another team we feature on the grassroots segment is Haringey Borough Women's FC. They're located in Coles Park, White Hart Lane, Tottenham, London N17 7JP. They do have a Facebook group. It's a private group, but ask nicely and I'm sure they'll let you into the group. But at HBWFC1 on Twitter. Haringey Borough Women's FC on Twitter. Their website is www.haringeywomenfc.co.uk as well. They train on Tuesday and Thursday evenings from 7:30 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. at Northumberland Park Community School, Truelock Road, London N17 0PG, and their match days are on Sundays. Big shout out to Kendall Campbell, one of the Ibis Fours, who coaches at Haringey Borough Women's FC and is currently injured at the moment, out with a knee injury. So heal you will, bro. See you soon. Stevenage Brough Ladies FC are the other team we feature on the grassroots segment. www.clubwebsite.com/Stevenage BOROFC Borough. Facebook page Stevenage Brough Ladies FC, and their first team is in the Eastern Region Premier Division, and their reserves team are in the Eastern Region South. They play on Sunday afternoons as well, and their home pitch is the Codecote Sports and Social Club, Berry Lane, Codecote SG48XX. And a big shout out to Dave Potter, who is manager of one of the sides there as well.